Week 15 start sit advice next on Fantasy Football Today in 5. Welcome to FFT in 5. I'm Chris Towers. I'm here with Dave Richard. And we've got some pretty tough quarterback questions for Week 15, especially for some high-end guys who you probably haven't really considered sitting this season. We're going to start off with Tua Tagovailoa, who I think might be one of the toughest. And it might be a bad time to ask this question because it's Wednesday afternoon, and we have no idea if Tyreek Hill is going to play in Week 15. Will that be the determining factor if you start Tua Tagovailoa against the Jets or not?
No, I think the determining factor is going to be how does that offensive line look? Is it going to be, a couple of starters that we expect to have good games to help protect Tua Tagovailoa? That matters a lot. If you look at the Wednesday injury report, every single starter from the beginning of the season, and really pretty much every starter they have, is on it or is on injured reserve. And even a backup is on there. Yeah, it's kind of a problem when you've got a quarterback that needs protection like Tua does. And then we know that Tyreek isn't quite 100%. He also didn't practice on Wednesday. Let's throw another one on there. Devon Achane didn't practice on Wednesday either. He's got a brand new injury. It's his toe. This is a messy offense right now.
Yeah.
And so as long as that's the case and we see that offensive line not look good, especially against the Jets defense that ranks fourth best in the league in pass rush pressure rate, I don't think Tua's got a shot to do pretty well. I think Raheem Mostert is the one who's got a shot to do pretty well. And I think this game won't look quite like most Dolphins games do. I would hesitate to start Tua Tagovailoa. I have moved him to 15th in my quarterback rankings, and hell must have frozen over, Chris, because I've got Joe Flacco one spot ahead of Tua Tagovailoa as things stand as of this time.
The question that I would ask, and we'll move on to our second start-sit question then, is Patrick Mahomes versus the Patriots or Tua Tagovailoa versus the Dolphins?
I've got Mahomes over Tua, but he's another name that continues to slide down and down my rankings as I find other quarterbacks I like better. Look, he was close to – if he had the second touchdown last week, I don't know how many people would be complaining about Mahomes. You can't rank him like he's got a shot to get you 30 fantasy points again. I think that ship sailed, but clearly this offense is lacking the explosiveness that it has in the past. Mahomes is doing everything he can to help make big plays. I don't think it's him who's necessarily struggling as much as it is the pass catchers in the offense, the defense for Kansas City. And it's clear that the Patriots are not mailing it in this year. We saw that last Thursday. They've assembled an offense that's good enough to compete, a defense that's actually very good this year. Mahomes is closer to 10 than he is to 1, and that's a change for fantasy managers this season.
All right, let's go look at two running backs in the same game on Saturday. Remember, we've got 3 games on Saturday, so we've got like 3 different lineup deadlines this week, so that's always fun. That's a fun wrinkle of the end of the season. And I think both Najee Harris and Zach Moss are really, really interesting start sits. So I will ask you first, where do you have them both ranked? Who do you prefer? And are you starting both of them?
I prefer Zach Moss. I have him as a top 20 running back. You can't deny how bad he's looked the last couple of weeks, but you also can't deny the workload. And I'd like to think that the Steelers' defense is actually going to end up being I want to believe in them. I want to say that they're going to come back and be better than they were against the Patriots, but I don't know if I see it. I don't know if they've got it. And I think that the Colts can kind of round back into form from what we saw earlier this season. And Zach Moss can get going again. He's another guy, kind of like Mahomes. If he had scored last week, and he did score, he had a call back by a holding penalty, I don't think anybody would be questioning it. We might be talking about his inefficiency, but we wouldn't be questioning Zach Moss as an RB2. So I'm going to put him there.
32 carries, 11 targets in the 2 games since Jonathan Taylor went down. Jonathan Taylor's not going to play this week. And look, the Steelers defense, a lot of big names, but TJ Watt is clearly banged up. He's playing at a lot less than 100% right now if he plays, dealing with all kinds of lower leg injuries right now. So that's one to keep an eye on. And then, Najee Harris, I mean, it's a good situation. The Colts are, I believe, 30th in points allowed to running backs this season. It's just, what's the workload going to look like? Can this offense create enough opportunities for him? And, we'll throw Jaylen Warren in there, who I do think should rank higher than Naji just because of the passing game workload.
I think this is a game where if the Steelers are paying attention, First of all, they need something on offense. They
Mm-hmm.
need a boost. But if they're really paying attention and they saw how Cincinnati went about beating Indianapolis last week, this matchup is tailor-made for Jaylen Warren to make plays after the catch. He's their best yards after catch player. He's got the best yards after catch per reception on the team this year. It's not even close. So if they really want to try and attack Indy the same way that Cincinnati did, and honestly, why wouldn't they? Because I don't think they'll be efficient running the ball between the A gaps and the B gaps. This is a great shot for Jaylen Warren. Give him 5 catches, give him 7-8 carries, let him see what he can do, attack the edges, kind of attack the Colts the same way the Patriots attacked the Steelers last Thursday. I think it'll work out for them. With Naji, we know he's going to play about 50% of the snaps. If he doesn't score a touchdown, you'll be cooked. He's an RB3.
I will say this. I think I would start Moss, Najee Harris, and Jaylen Warren, all 3 of them, ahead of the waiver wire guys from this week. So Deontay Foreman, Ty Chandler, and Zamir White. I think I'd start all 3 of them ahead of those 3 guys.
I'll disagree with you. I will start Chandler and Foreman ahead of the Steelers running backs.
All right, that's going to do it for FFT and 5. We'll be back tomorrow to talk more Week 15 start sit advice. We'll see you then.